everybody, and thank you so much for joining our Zoom class today. Our Zoom class today is on the mind-body-spirit connection. It's exciting work, and so many people around the world are making that connection to create a whole different paradigm, from my point of view as a medical intuitive, about our bodies and our health. When Jim comes on for his part of the meditation, I'm sure he'll be talking about how important our thoughts and beliefs are in terms of just setting our mental self for the day, for our prosperity, for our way through life. This is going to be the beginning of our 4th year doing free Zoom classes. We started in 21 because in the fall of 21 because of COVID. And we've been doing, this is going to be starting our 4th year. We always start in September and we take the summer off. So those of you who are joining us for the first time know that we're going to have a whole season of free classes once a month, the second Sunday of every month. It's going to be different topics that Jim and I will be teaching. And we usually take the summer off, what the heck, it's hot. But we do have the recordings of all of our classes on our website. Our website is www.infinitelight.me. And on that site, you can go to classes and you can get the top 3 recorded classes. And then if you hit the link to our YouTube channel, you can get past recorded classes plus past interviews. I think there's a couple of interviews with me and a couple of interviews now with Jim. Really fascinating stuff where he's been on podcasts. So check it out. Our YouTube channel is Infinite Light LLC. You can also access it by just typing in my name, Abby O'Neill. So if we're, and I did want to mention that we still have a couple of spaces left for our Sedona trip. We take retreats to different areas, different places where we feel there's going to be a really powerful connection with the land. We've done some amazing trips to Maui, where we went up to Haleakala. We've been to Ireland. We just were there last summer, where we go to the stone circles, and we're trying to access sort of a different vibration, a different energy from what we have in our 21st century life. Instead of parking lots and freeways, we're going to very powerful natural spots. I think probably most of the indigenous peoples around the world had a very different life than we do. But one of the most important parts of their life was to connect with places on the earth that have power. If you read ancient Greek, you'll find out that one of the most important things about ancient Greek life was they had sacred groves of trees. And that's also very true with ancient Britain, ancient France, medieval Britain and France. There are sacred groves of trees. I believe in the Druid religion, oaks were considered sacred. There was a sense of the sacredness of our whole world. And because we were able to live in nature a lot more than we are now, we were able to access that power. So when we take these retreats to different parts of the world, what we're trying to do is not so much teach, although there is teaching as part of it. We're trying to connect on a much deeper level with nature. We're trying to go to certain power spots where Jim and I have gone and where we're very familiar with how to access the power, how to feel a raise in your frequency, a raise in your energy that can spontaneously clear you. It's almost, one of the people on our trip to Ireland this summer said, 10 years of therapy or one trip to a stone circle. And I said, yeah, that's kind of how it is. It brings a higher frequency and it helps you clear and focus to a higher level of consciousness so much more quickly than our average normal life. So again, this trip to Sedona is going to be the last weekend of September. from September 27th through 29th. It's a long weekend, and we still have a few spots available. So please go to our website, www.infinitelight.me, and sign up if you want to. And there's more information about the whole Sedona weekend on the website. So for now, I think if we're all ready, joining us and everything, I'd like to lead us in a meditation. This topic, mind, body, spirit, really defines my job. I'm a medical intuitive. I'm a medical psychic. I think I'm going to be taking it sort of from the body outward. I think Jim in his meditation will be going from thoughts inward. But for me, my whole job is about how physical illness, physical pain, even things that we don't think of as really physical, like recurring headaches or anxiety, mental fog, depression, all of those things are within our physical body. And yet so many times they are connected to something we're feeling, something we're thinking, a memory perhaps, or a way of behavior that we've internalized. So my job as a medical intuitive is to make that link. It's to think about the part of our body that's in pain, hurting, has a disease, even just has a recurring problem, and think, okay, how does that connect to what I'm thinking? How does that connect to an emotion that comes over me all the time? How does that connect to something that might be really unconscious, a memory from my childhood? Now, the thing that I find amazing about my work is 9 times out of 10, almost 99 out of 100 times, there is a connection. And the most amazing part is that once you heal that emotion, you heal that belief, you heal those thoughts, you don't get preoccupied by those thoughts or beliefs or emotions, the illness actually goes away. I've seen huge illnesses go away in a weekend. I've also seen people lose weight, and we think of losing weight is so difficult. I had one of my clients lose about 20 pounds over a long weekend. And I know you might think, wow, she's crazy, she's making it up. But what we did was we went very deeply to a childhood trauma for him. And once he realized he felt healed and he didn't have to hold on to it, he also stopped holding on to the weight. So when we do get an illness, if we have a chronic problem, it could just be a pain, it could be fatigue, something really general. We think, oh, I don't really have a problem, I just get tired. But think about it. And instead of thinking about it like the usual ways we would think about it, like, oh, I'm getting old, God is punishing me, I'm punishing myself. Life is horrible. I mean, we go to a lot of thoughts when our body starts acting up, don't we? But I would recommend, even if you are thinking some of those thoughts, to sort of shelve them and start playing the detective and start saying to yourself, okay, I have a chronic backache, or I get migraines, or I get this weird dizzy feeling, or I'm just stressed. And say to yourself, I want to go in and see, what does that connect to? I want to pull in light in my meditation and just sit there looking around without any kind of judgment or jumping to conclusions, and just see what comes in. I was teaching a seminar in Thunder Bay, Ontario, and one of my students had a chronic liver problem from childhood. And in an exercise, we simply were told to put light on that area of our body. She did do that. Sounds weird, but her liver started talking to her. First of all, her liver was really mad at her. But then after the liver kind of calmed down, and she started to understand the emotional problems that were connected with her liver. And I'm swearing to God here, her problem went away. She told me that the next day she looked at the palm of her hand, which was usually yellow because she always had slight jaundice from her liver. it was pink. It went away. So that's why I'm encouraging you in the meditation we're going to be doing right now. Just keep a very open mind. Try not to jump to all the thoughts we usually have about our body, or this or that. And let's just create a space of light and just sort of look around. Just see what comes into our mind. Don't judge it. Don't call out for a certain outcome, like, please, please heal me. Or even just, I'm tired of this anxiety. I don't want it anymore. Instead, let's just go into the light. Let's just breathe. Just see what comes up. Nothing may come up. Something may come up. Something random may come up. I've had people where a tiny little random thought would come up and they'd think, oh, that's not important. That doesn't mean anything. And yet when they really thought about it, it led to a whole thought or a memory or a belief. And they were suddenly like, oh my God, that does connect. So I guess what I'm saying is our real goal for this meditation today is don't think about anything. Just completely, blank out. I'll be guiding you in this meditation. The first thing we're going to be doing is just relaxing. So if everybody's ready, I want you to close your eyes and just breathe. We can pretty much all do that, right? Again, let's take a deep breath, pull it all the way down through your body. This time when we breathe, we're going to pull it past our chest, into our belly, maybe all the way down to our toes. We aren't forcing it. If you have a hard trouble breathing, just be very gentle with yourself. All we want to do is relax. All we want to do is slowly put our thoughts behind us and slowly invite spirit in. So again, let's take another deep, deep breath. This time, as we take in a deep breath, I want you to pull it down into your body and hold it. Hold it as long as you can. It may not be that long, but that's okay. Just have a moment of stillness. Ah, and then breathe it out. Let's do that again. We're pulling a breath in. As we hold the breath, we're silent. Breathe it out. One last time, pull in that deep breath. Hold the breath. Ah, breathe it out. Now we're going to let our head roll around. We're letting our head go. We're just relaxing our neck and letting our head roll around. Just feel the stretch. Your neck is loose and limp, loose and limp. If there's any tension in the back of your neck, just roll over it very gently. Just let it go. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction. Again, we're just rolling our head, letting it go. Our head starts to feel lighter and lighter. There's much less tension in our neck now. Now we're going to take our shoulders and pull them right up under our ears. So now we're going to be as tense as we possibly can be. Feel that tension all through your neck, your shoulders, your back. Now let them drop. Let's try that one more time. Let's squeeze the shoulders right up under your ears. Squeeze them harder, harder, harder. Now let them drop. Now we're going to raise our hands up, our arms right up to the ceiling. I want you to stretch your arms. You can feel the stretch right from the base of your spine, up your back, up your shoulders, up your arms. Stretch out your fingers. Feel that stretch. Feel that stretch. And now, very gently, your hands float down. They don't drop down, they float. That's because there's no weight in your hands. There's no weight in your body. Your whole body is floating right now. Everything is floating. Everything is weightless. All the heaviness, all the weight is gone. Now, if you're sitting down, we're going to do a little exercise of rotating our hips. We're sitting, but we're going to lean forward. We're going to lean to the side. We're going to lean to the back. And then we're going to go around to the other side. We're making a big circle. Just a big circle. We're stretching out our lower back. We're relaxing our lower back. How does that feel? Just stretching it out, stretching it out. Go very gently, just in case there's any places in your back that hurt. All we want to do is be very gentle and stretch out the back. And now we're going to go in the opposite direction. Just leaning forward, leaning to the side, leaning to the back, leaning to the side, just going around in a big, big circle. Just relaxing. Now we're going to sit up straight, and now all you have to do is feel your body. It doesn't have to feel like anything. How does your body feel today? Just go through it for a minute. Just feel what different parts feel like. Do any parts feel heavy? Do parts feel light? Do you feel energy? Remember, there's no right answers in energy work. We're all different. We're all going to feel something different. The best you can do in this work is just feel yourself and say to yourself, oh, okay, this is what I feel like. That's it. It's not complicated. Now I want you to imagine a bright, bright light coming down through the top of your head and filling your body, just rushing into your body. It's swirling around. We're calling it the name of God, Creator, Great Spirit. This is our divine energy. This is what makes us tick every day, but we never really think about it. In Chinese medicine, it's called our qi, our life force energy. Let's take a moment and see if we can feel it. If you're visual, you may see it as light. If you're a feeling person, just sit there and see what it feels like. If you don't think you can see or feel anything, put your hand on your pulse, because you'll notice, yes, I have a pulse. Yes, there is energy there. This beautiful energy, this beautiful light, it rushes down your legs, it rushes down your arms, it swirls around your heart. Maybe it's hard to perceive. It's light. It's effervescent, just like champagne. It's always moving, whether you realize it or not. Sometimes your heart can get warm because you're feeling that beautiful energy going through it. And now I want you to imagine that cloud of energy around you. We all have an energy field. The energy's pouring through our body. It's rushing out of our heart and it's surrounding us. This is our energy field. When light hits it, it's our aura. And this is what protects us every day. So I want you to look around at your energy field. Remember, there's always more light pouring down through the top of your head. Do you need to fill out your energy field a little bit? Is it thin? Does it have holes? Does it have dark spots or shadows? Let's focus on our energy field now and let's fill it up. We're calling in our guides and our angels, those invisible beings that are always with us, the highest divine energy that are always there to heal us, guide us. Now we're calling in the divine energy to fill our energy field, to give us protection each day and in the week ahead. If you have a hard time with the idea of light, just imagine you're under a waterfall and the water is pelting you from above. Or maybe you're standing on a hill and the wind is blowing right through you. That's your chi, your life force energy. It fills your body, it fills your energy field. And we're calling in your guides and angels to make it a strong energy field now. Now we're going back to our heart area. We have a nice, strong, almost bubble around us. And remember, if you're ever in a situation in your daily life where you feel threatened or exhausted or drained, or even just anxious, put your mind on your energy field. Imagine it billowing out around you. Imagine it strong, sort of like you're full of light, but remember, a light bulb has a glass wall. You have that glass wall too. You can be in a bubble of light. You can be there for everybody around you, but it's okay to be protected. It's okay to have boundaries. So many of us are empaths and we want to give to everybody around us. We want to heal everybody around us. Always remember that the first place we need to go is our own battery. We need to have a full charge, a full battery. We also, if you notice, batteries nowadays, as my stepfather, the car mechanic, would remind me, are sealed. So the energy can't leak out of the battery. That's how we should be too. We don't want any energy leaking. If we want to help somebody, we can, but we need our full charge. Now, one great way to give ourselves a little bit more energy is in our heart, because every moment of joy or happiness gives us more chi, it gives us more life energy. So I want you to think back over the last week or two, and I want you to think of those moments that were really happy for you, joyful. They could just be moments of quiet contentment, reading a book, having a really nice cup of tea, watching your dog, walking your dog, watching a good show on television. Happiness doesn't discriminate. The important part is that feeling in our heart where we feel happy, we feel safe, we feel light. So let's go back over the last week or two and think of some moments where we felt that way. Now, how did those moments feel in your heart? Did they feel warm? Sometimes we think something will make us happy, but it really didn't. It just made us feel nervous. So don't choose times like that. Our heart usually knows what's going on. So, so just go to those moments where you felt like yourself. But how do they feel in your heart? Do they feel warm? Does it feel solid there? Now we're going to give ourselves a little bit more energy. So I want you to put your hands out in front of you, palms up, just like someone is going to put an apple or an orange in your hands. Instead of an apple or an orange, it's a ball of light right there in your hands. Can you see that ball of light, or can you feel it? You might feel a little friction. You might feel a little warmth. If you're not feeling anything at all, just sit there and be with it for a moment. Just let it grow, let it feel. Now we're going to say together to ourselves, dearest God, Goddess, Creator, I accept this gift of love that you're giving me today. There it is right in your hands. It's this energy, it's this light in your hands. Again, if you're not feeling anything, we're calling in your guides and your angels, and we're asserting or proclaiming, yes, I do have this gift of love today. Maybe I can't feel it or see it, but it's there because it's there every single day. Creator is always there giving to us, whether we realize it or not. You might be seeing or feeling. It might be warm, it might be cold, it might be getting bigger. It might be a certain color. What does that energy look like? I want you to put it right into your heart. If you can feel that energy move into your heart, feeling a little warmth. If you can't feel anything, we're just calling in your guides and angels to accept that extra energy into our own system of energy. To ourselves, we say, I receive it in my heart and in my life. Now, now let's put out our hands one more time. We've got another ball of energy, another ball of light in our hands. First of all, can you feel it? Can you feel a little bit better this time? Is it a certain color? Is it warm? Is it big? Is it small? This is a gift that the universe is giving you today. It might be money. It might be an opportunity. It might be a shift in a relationship. It might simply be wisdom, courage. It might be patience. It might be the solution to a problem that you've been worrying about. So instead of telling it what you want, let's take a moment to just be quiet, sit in the light, and see what comes up for us. What is this gift? We say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, Great Spirit, I accept this gift that you're giving me today. So not only does the universe have gifts for you every day, but we've got to accept them. So let's accept it. Now let's look at that energy in our hands. Did it get any bigger? Did it change color? What does it feel like? I want you to press it right into your heart. That's how we accept this gift. To ourselves, we say, I accept it in my heart and in my life. Take a breath. Take another deep breath. So now you see, we think of our body, even our mind, as something kind of concrete and unchanging. But really, it's just a constantly changing mosaic of energy. And the more we realize that, the more we can actually work with it. So that what we feel physically, even what we think mentally, is more calming for us, more sustaining, more exciting, more fulfilling, instead of just randomly feeling assaulted or dragged down by negativity. We can actually control it. So this next meditation we're going to do, I want us to send some light and sit in a certain part of our body so we can ask our body what's going on there. So I want you to think of one place you'd like to go, one illness, one ache or pain, one chronic problem, something that flares up, maybe not now, but has a tendency to flare up, a certain part of your body that feels weak, like a sore muscle. Now, if you're one of these lucky people where there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, first of all, great. I don't know why you're in this class. But secondly, maybe there's something you'd like to address that's a little bit more vague, like tiredness, anxiety, stress, tension, even just a stiffness in a certain part of your body. We can go there too. We can bring the light to anything really we can think of, even if it's an all over feeling, we can bring the light to ask that particular question. So, as I was saying at the beginning of this meditation, instead of freaking out about something going wrong in our body, let's use our body where it's kind of meant to be used as telling us what's wrong. It's going to be a huge source of information. Our body a lot of times gets sick and it's like, hey, over here, I have something to tell you. Please listen to me. But a lot of times we don't listen. We're just like, oh my God, I'm sick. Oh, I don't know. What do I do? And your body's like, hello, I'm trying to tell you something. So let's listen to our body today. Now, remember, I think there's an emotional component to our body, but there's also a real world 3D physical component. I think we need to use them both together. Definitely go to the doctor. Definitely, if you feel a medication is working for you, stick with it. Acupuncture, chiropractic, these are all things to help us. I think that all works together. And it all goes together as part of a divine plan to heal us. The part that I'm working on today, and that perhaps you'll be open to today, is just the emotional, mental part, how it creates a template for us to suffer and how we can get rid of it. I don't know how else to put it. So if you're all ready, I'm just going to lead us on a meditation. Now, you might have a bunch of things wrong with you in your body. If so, just choose one. For just to learn how to do it, learn how to send light to one particular thing. This meditation will be on a recording. So if you want to come back to the recording and do something else, maybe you're suffering from tiredness, a sore shoulder, and some fatigue. So take each one separately, go through the meditation because each one is separate and each one will tell you something different. Just as an example for myself, I was in Europe in 2019 and my knee went out. And the more I worked with the emotional part of my knee, the more I realized it had to do with a fear of being overpowered, a fear of sort of being second rate or people taking my power. So I had to sort of look at that, how I dealt with that in my life. Maybe I gave my power away. I had to work on it physically. I had to get a knee brace. I had to take care of my knee. And I also had to just emotionally work on the part of myself that the weakness brought up. And it wasn't overnight, I have to tell you, but by doing all those things together for my knee is fine now. But I honestly don't think it would have been fine with just the physical, because I really needed the emotional. I really needed to understand what it was that I was doing that was undercutting myself, or the beliefs where I thought I was powerless and I just went along with it. I had to fix that too. And thank God my body was there to say to me, hey, there's something wrong here. You've got to look at it. So I think that's the great benefit of this kind of work. Well, anyway, if we're all ready, let's close our eyes. Again, we're going to take a deep breath. Just fill your body with air. Just gently breathe in, breathe out. Now let's pull that breath in and just for a moment, hold the breath in a moment of stillness. Breathe out. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, hold it. Just slowly breathe out. Now I want you to imagine that beautiful bright light coming in through the top of your head, filling your body. We're calling it the name of God, Creator, Great Spirit. See it rushing down your arms, rushing down your legs, swirling around your heart. Any little feelings you have with that life force energy, a tingling, a buzzing, a warmth. Be on the lookout for that little telltale sign, because that's a sign that you're increasing your chi. You're getting aware of your chi and you're increasing your chi. Just feel it bubbling all through you, that beautiful life force energy. We're calling in your guides and your angels, and we're asking not only for healing of a certain part of our body or our mind, but we're also asking for understanding. Where did this problem come from? What is it that I can do to change it, or change my thoughts, or heal my memories? So again, let's just feel that beautiful light pouring through us. We can see the light centering at our heart. You're just filling up with light like a light bulb. And again, if you can't see light, or you can't really feel the energy, take a moment to feel your pulse. You have an engine in there, an engine of energy. And through intention, we are now going to take that light or that energy to the part of your body that needs help. If it's a sore shoulder, take it to your shoulder. If it's a knee, take it to your knee. If it's your lungs, imagine the light just filling up your lungs. If you have headaches, just imagine the light filling up your head. We're calling in your guides and your angels to allow their frequency and their power to start revealing things to you. So the first thing we're going to do is imagine that part of your body bathed in light, and we're just going to be quiet and see what comes up. If it's an all over problem like tiredness, imagine light all throughout your body. So let's focus on that now. It's like looking at an empty stage that's flooded with light. The first things that may come on there may be random. You might get a memory. Someone might walk onto the stage. There might be a thought. This is our moment to really be open. Remember, you're just a bystander. You're just watching. You aren't putting out any words like, please heal me, please heal me. You're not doing that. You're actually just sitting there without thinking about much. The one thing you might focus on is just the light, just the energy. See what comes up. If it's a memory, what does it make you feel? If it's words, how do the words make you feel? Remember, your angel, your God is standing right next to you. If you start getting upset or you have a bad memory, ask your angel to heal it for you. Put more light on it. You're an observer, but your angel can heal it. If it's a certain person that comes to mind and they upset you, ask your angel to cut any cords between the two of you that might be draining you or obligating you into something negative that you don't want. You can love this person, but you don't need to be drained by them. It's okay to ask your angel to cut the cords. Are you feeling pain or discomfort in this part of your body? If so, ask your angels to take away the pain, or imagine light coming and washing away the pain. Again, we just are sitting there observing and being present with it. Let the light come in and start to release it for you. Now let's imagine light going throughout the area, just a blinding light. If you have a hard time imagining that, you can just literally say to yourself, I call in my angels and ask them to release the pain, release the illness here. Just say it to yourself. Now I want you to imagine the light going from this area of your body and filling your entire body. Does it feel warm? Does it feel tingly? We're calling on your guides and your angels now to continue this healing from today onwards. We're asking your guides and your angels to continue communicating to you. If you want to do a meditation where you talk to an illness, talk to a pain, talk to a certain part of your body, talk to your headache, we're asking your guides and your angels to make this available to you, this wisdom, to help it come into your mind, to help you understand why this is part of your world, and also to understand that you're releasing it now. And your angels will continue to heal in the days to come. So again, we're feeling that light flooding our body. We feel warm, we feel content. We're completely connected with our divine self, with divine energy. And we're allowing ourselves to release all resistance and allowing ourselves now to heal. Let's take a deep breath. Another deep, deep breath all the way down to your toes. When you feel ready, Just come back to the room and open your eyes. We're going to take a break now. And then right at 3 o'clock PST, Jim is going to start his part of the meditation. So feel free now to take a break, write some notes, get something to eat, and circle back right around the hour.
Okay. Well, welcome back. Can everybody hear me and see me okay? I guess you can't answer because you're muted, huh? And see me? Okay, thanks. All right. Well, welcome back. And I hope you guys enjoyed summer as much as we have. We went to Ireland. We went through the stone circles in Ireland. And we've just been really enjoying some time off and doing some writing and some other work. Anyway, for those that don't know me, my name is Jim McCarthy, and I've been teaching for about 14 or 15 years. And Abby, as Abby said, I think we've been teaching about 4 years together. And for these classes, we kind of just ask our guides what to teach about. And this time it was mind, body, spirit connection, which is really something that I've followed my whole life. And I was always fascinated by how it all worked and intertwined. So I'm enjoying the topic today. Anyway, we all, as human beings, we have a body, obviously, and we have a mind, and we have life force, right? We have all three of these things, but a lot of times we don't understand how they all work together and how we can use them for our best and highest good. So, I started off my teaching or my learning in this area as a hypnotist. And when I was in college, I played high school or college baseball. And I remember before one of the games, they brought in this hypnotist to have us to kind of have us visualize us playing at our best. And I thought that was interesting. I'd never been hypnotized before, and I was like, right? And I was kind of doubting that anything was happening. And so he called somebody up to the front. He says, I want to show you how powerful hypnosis is. And I was curious. And so the catcher came up and he put him in, he allowed him to go into a trance. Nobody puts anybody into a trance, but he allowed him to go into a trance. And as soon as he got very comfortable and very suggestive to suggestions, he put a quarter on the back of his hand. And he says, as I count backwards from 10 to 1, this quarter is going to become so hot, it's going to burn you. And he started counting backwards. It was like 10, 9, 8. And he got to about 2, and the guy threw the quarter across the room and he yelled, ouch. And I was looking at it, and after that thing, he showed us that there was an actual burn mark on the back of his hand from this quarter that wasn't even hot. And I realized how powerful perception is at that time, how much what we choose to perceive controls our life, both outside and inside. And I was very fascinated with it. And by no accident, later on, I went on to study with probably one of the top hypnotists in the world. His name was Dave Dobson. And he was healing cancer. He was healing, he was enabling people to go through surgery that were burnt over 90% of their body without anesthesia and have no pain. And he really demonstrated how powerful the unconscious mind is and how much it can work with the body, right? He would just, like, to do pain alleviation, he would make it to where instead of feeling something, they would just hear something. And so when they were having surgery, they would hear like a musical instrument and they had no feeling and they were fine with it, right? And it was like, how does that work, right? That the mind and body are so connected. And we all kind of know that at some level, but we're never taught how to use them properly, right? How to use the body as a means of awareness as to what's going on in our mind and our perceptions, right? So as I progressed further, in my learning, then I came across like spiritual healing. And that was a whole new world to me, because in spiritual healing, I would watch someone where one leg was 3 inches shorter than the other one and get touched on the spine. And in an instant, their leg would grow and it would be the right size and their back pain would be gone and they'd stand up straight. And it was an instant. And I thought, okay, well, I used to think the mind was powerful with hypnosis. And now I realize that spirit is the one that's got the real juice. Okay. So I wanted to learn how to connect with that. Then I spent years and years learning how to connect with that. But, where I've gone with my teaching and with my own learning is that, our body is an asset and our mind is an asset. And they're both means of awareness. We can become aware of things in our mind and we feel the effect of what we're thinking about and what we're perceiving in that moment in our bodies. So like if you're in a meeting and you're talking to someone and all of a sudden you start feeling very uncomfortable with that person, that's a whole bunch of consciousness that you're receiving without having to think about it. And energy is usually a truer measure of what's really going on than thought. Okay. If you've ever been in a conversation with someone and they're like, well, I'm not angry. And you can just feel the rage going on in them and you can see that they're suppressing it and everything else. You can believe that they are angry and so what? They don't want to deal with it, but just know what the truth is. Right. And so like, I think one of the next classes we're going to teach is on being an empath, because people run from being able to feel things. And the reality is, if you learn how to be comfortable with it, it's a huge resource for you, to be able to feel what's really going on and not be lied to by someone, what they're telling you, right? Anyway, but so let's start with with the mind. Our mind is like this supercomputer, and we can attune it to different levels of consciousness. We can choose what we tune into. We can choose what we open ourselves to. And whatever we do starts to fill our consciousness. And as it fills our consciousness, we immediately start to feel the effects of that in our bodies, right? So if you're filling your consciousness with fearful things all the time, your body's going to feel a lot of fear. And, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what it is. But as we learn to become aware, we might learn to become aware of, okay, I'm feeling afraid. What's going on in my mind? And how do I clear this? Because I don't want to feel afraid. It doesn't feel good, right? And so the mind and the body kind of work together. And the thing that people don't tell you is that when you're born into this world, you're already born into a pre-existing consciousness that already has a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of energy associated with those beliefs. And if we're born into a family system that already has pre-existing limitations and pre-existing like lies running through it. And there's nothing we can do about that except for learn how to heal it when it comes into us, right? And that's really what this dance is between the mind, the body, and the spirit. Okay, so if the mind is a vessel of awareness, and we tune into things, like right now I'm teaching, so I'm tuning into consciousness and I'm hearing what to say and I'm saying it, right? And that's really what it's meant for, is to co-create, to be an instrument of awareness in this world. Okay, the body's an instrument to get us around and give us a ticket to be in this world, but also to give us a platform to be able to feel what's really going on. What kind of states of consciousness are we connected to? And these things, as we get more aware of them, we also realize that neither our mind nor our body is who we are. Okay. And so when I went from like working with hypnosis and learning that everything is really created by thought, word, and deed, what we think and what we believe, we start to create. And there's really no doubt about that. But the other thing about the mind is, one of the things that I was told about the mind one time is, like, if you've ever seen an iceberg, there's a little bit of it above the ocean, but the bulk of it is outside your awareness. It's underneath the water and you can't see it. Okay. And when it comes to the mind, the bulk of your mind is unconscious, right? You might be conscious of what you're thinking at the moment or what you're feeling in the moment, but you're not conscious of all of the stuff that's active in the mind, all the stuff that's still alive, all the things that we still believe. We wouldn't have access to that simultaneously. It comes as it's needed. Okay. So when I started teaching about mind, body, spirit connection, what I started teaching was that, pay attention to how your body feels, because if you're feeling a lot of negative emotion, chances are there's some negative things going on in your mind, whether or not you're really aware of it, right? You might be aware of a little bit of it, but that emotional pain in your body kind of shows you that, hey, there's something going on that I need to attend to. Okay. When you go to the physical world, one of the Dave Dobson, the guy I studied with hypnosis, he said, imagine, that you're pounding a nail into some wood. And he goes, can you imagine that? And I said, yeah, I can imagine that. And he goes, and imagine you missed the nail and you hit your thumb with the hammer. Can you imagine that? Yeah. He goes, okay, it hurts. I go, yeah, it hurts. And he says, now imagine that you pay attention to the pain and you look at your thumb, and if it's bleeding, you dress it, you put some alcohol on it, you put a Band-Aid on it, and you've taken care of it. Now you can just quit thinking about it, right? But when it was painful, it was a signal basically to pay attention. Okay, like in Abby's meditation she just did, it was like, go someplace where it's uncomfortable, really, where something's going on, and bring your awareness to it and just pay attention. Okay. And that's really the essence of spiritual healing, right? Just bringing your awareness to something, when it comes to not so much a physical injury, but something that's going on in your body that's more chronic. If you just start paying attention to it and then you call in the spirit and you just say, okay, help me unravel this and help me understand it and really help me to heal it mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally on all ways. Please lead the way, right? Because that part of you, the spirit, right? Your mind has limits because you're born into a limiting world, and it's filled with all of the consciousness of humanity, which a lot of it causes pain and suffering. Okay. And we feel that in our bodies. When you tune into the spirit, to the divine light, to the light within you, which that's where it is, That light within you is all-knowing. It doesn't lie. It always alleviates and heals suffering. It never causes it. Okay. And when you tune into that and you just kind of admit to it, like, look, I don't know how to heal this. Will you please help? And just allow it to come in and allow it to go to the area that needs healing. And as Avi said, just be still and watch. Let it bring awareness. Let it bring thoughts. Let it bring guidance. Don't try to do it with your mind, because if you're doing it with your mind, you're actually closing off spirit. Okay. And that's one of the laws of that mind body spirit connection. If you're in your mind and you're regurgitating negative stuff, it just goes into a loop with your body, and that's when you have a chronic problem, right? It's like, I hate this, or I'm afraid of this and I don't know how to deal with it, and you try to think your way out of it. It doesn't work, because when you're in your mind, you're not able to go outside the limitations of your human mind and get healing. Okay. Healing has to come from a higher consciousness. That's where your connection to light comes in. Okay. So this class is really about teaching you to start to pay attention to your body. And when it doesn't feel so good, take note of that, because at some level, something's running in your mind or in your consciousness that's creating that in your body. Okay. And use that as a signal that it's time to connect to light. It's time to connect to spirit. And it's time to ask it to take over. Because when you connect to spirit, automatically will kind of take charge, and it will start unraveling what's going on, even if you're not conscious of it. Okay. Even if it's part of that iceberg that's below the surface, it'll start to unravel it. And as it does, your thoughts will naturally change, and the emotional charge, the feeling, will naturally dissolve into nothing. Okay. So as we recognize that pattern or that dance, and we continue to do it on a regular basis, then these feelings that we have in our body are no longer something that we fight. It's something that we embrace and say, okay, there's something going on in me that needs to be healed. And now I know how to heal it. Call in the spirit, right? Because the spirit doesn't ever do anything that's harmful. Okay. And a long time ago, when I was teaching at my office, I read this thing from Course in Miracles. It's called the atonement as to defense. Okay. And it's atonement based on the Course in Miracles definition is to be one with the divine, to be one with God. Okay. And that's true atonement, means that your mind is completely connected to the consciousness of the divine. Okay. And so this is labeled the atonement as defense. And basically, for those that aren't familiar with the Course in Miracles, it's supposedly Jesus basically channeling something into a book. Okay. And so in this, it says, you can do anything I asked. I have asked you to perform miracles, and have made it clear that miracles are a natural, corrective, and healing and universal. There's nothing they cannot do, but they cannot be performed in the spirit of doubt or fear. Okay, this goes back to the mind. If you're locked in doubt or fear or an emotional wound, like let's say you're believing that you're not worthy of love, or you're not good enough, or that there's not enough, right? That's doubt and fear. Okay. And if you're locked in doubt and fear, it's hard for you to connect to the divine. It's hard to connect to light. When you're afraid of anything, you're acknowledging its power to hurt you. Remember, where your heart is, there is your treasure also. And this is really about the mind connection with spirit. If you're connected to the wounds in your mind and the perceptions that have been handed down from generation to generation that are fearful, hateful, resentful, whatever they are, you're in that spirit of doubt and fear. You're in a spirit where your mind is closed off to the truth of the light. You can't have atonement. Okay. When you're afraid of anything, you're acknowledging its power to hurt you. Remember that where your heart is, where what you're focused on, there's your treasure also. You believe in what you value. If you're afraid, you will inevitably value wrongly. And by endowing all thoughts with equal power, will inevitably destroy peace. Okay. And it says, this is why the Bible speaks of the peace of God is which passeth understanding. This peace is totally incapable of being shaken by any perceptions, by any errors of any kind. Okay. It denies the ability of anything not of God to affect you. Okay. So when you're connected to spirit, what that says is that it automatically corrects error and does not allow error to operate through you. So your go-to for healing is to make that connection to the spirit within you. And everybody has it. And as you do that, it naturally starts to heal any thoughts, any perceptions, any memories, any expectations, any desires that cause you suffering or cause disharmony in your life. Okay. And that's really what Abby was doing in that last meditation. It was like, okay, take your mind, put your awareness of your mind on your body. Okay. Where there's something going on, maybe it's been going on for a long time. Okay. And as you put that awareness on the body, just allow the light of the spirit to take charge and operate in you, and let it show you what needs to be healed. Okay. And that's one thing that I think is really important. It's like, I'm big on prayer. And, to me, prayer is nothing more than it's like, prayer means that, okay, now I'm turning my attention to the spirit within me, to that all-knowing spirit that only loves me, only heals me, and only wants me to live in love and joy. Why wouldn't I? Okay. To do that is to pray. Okay. Whenever you access that part of yourself, it's prayer. It's nothing more than that. Okay. And you have a partnership with that part of yourself to where it wants to help you, and you just invite it in. Prayer is a good way. And I've written a lot of prayers that are made to take you from being in a wound in your mind body to allowing spirit to heal it on all levels. Okay. And if you want those, you can find them on our website. It's on the sessions page at the bottom, and you can download them for free. Okay. But the bottom line is that if you're stuck in your mind, Einstein said you can't heal a problem at the same level as the problem. And if you're stuck in your mind and you're identifying with yourself as the thinker, as the mind, okay, and you have a problem and you're at the level of the problem, all of your thoughts are going to be associated with that vibration. And you'll just kind of be like on a hamster wheel, and you won't get clarity and you won't get healing. Okay. So start to become aware of it and use your body, number one, as an instrument of awareness, to where if you're feeling emotionally afraid, no, it's a signal you have to turn to spirit, or that it's time to turn to spirit, because what's operating in your mind isn't working for you. Okay. And, a good prayer when you're full of fear is just to turn to spirit and say, please take this fear out of me and heal all of my thoughts, all of my judgments, all of my opinions, all of my perceptions associated with this fear. And please increase my faith in your light, your love, your protection, and your supply. But, just cover whatever you're afraid of, and then just be still and allow it to come in and allow it to be answered, just like Abby was saying in her meditation. You got to make space for it to come in and quit thinking and just allow. Okay. Let me see what else we got here. Okay, I want to talk to about interaries as well. A lot of times, like if you're really stuck in emotional charge and you're just, let's say, afraid to the bone, okay, or angry, or whatever the emotion is, but it's not of love, it's not of joy, it's not of light. If you can't get yourself out of it, then, find some help, someone that can hold light for you and, help you to release whatever's going on in you. That's really what Abby and I do when we do sessions. Okay. We're holding space, we're holding that connection. And then that connection usually will show us kind of some things that need to be released, but also helps us to walk the person through, is it okay to let this go now? Right? Because free will is one of the components we have, and we get to make a choice of, do we want to hold on to something or do we want to let it go? And as we let things go, the light will naturally take it out of us and naturally heal and transform it. And we don't have to take thought about it, and we don't have to manage it. If we do, we really just get into its way. Okay. So start to use your body as an instrument of awareness. When you feel something that's negative, pay attention to what's going on. And you might even pay attention to what thoughts are going through your mind at the time. And if it's negative, it's not your essence. Your essence is pure love and joy. So that's when you call in spirit. The spirit is your essence. Call it in, and then offer what's going on in your mind and your body to the spirit, and ask it to take charge and start to heal and transmit it or transmute it mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And then just be still and know that it's operating. Okay. So I want to do kind of a meditation on that. And well, first I want to do a little bit about forgiveness and the importance of why we want to forgive things. Okay. And the reason why we forgive things, and I'm sure you've heard this before, isn't to let someone else off the hook. It's so that we don't have to carry the negative energy of that relationship in our own bodies anymore. Okay. I was at a healing ceremony a while back, and this lady has a very big healing gift. And someone was there with stage 4 colon cancer. Actually, I think it was a testimonial I read about this lady. And there's a lady there, the guy there with stage 4 colon cancer, and the doctors couldn't do anything else for him anymore. And he went to this healer, and he was sitting there, and she just brought in the spirit and held it for the group. And he got this idea that, well, I'm dying anyway, I might as well just forgive everybody that hurt me. Okay. And ask anyone that I hurt to forgive me. And so the healing part of that ceremony went on for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. And he sat there in that light that someone else was holding for him. And he just did his forgiveness work. He didn't micromanage it. He just says, I forgive this person for, any way they hurt me, mentally, physically, spiritually. However he said it, I don't know. I wasn't there. But he meant it. He was dying. He had nothing else to hold on to about it. And he did this, and he felt at peace afterwards. And the next week he went to the doctor, and his cancer was completely healed instantly. It was gone. Okay. So, when you're upset with someone, notice where you're holding that upsetness. Okay. And normally what you'll realize is that you feel it in your body. Okay. So if you're very angry with someone, you're holding anger in your body. If you hate someone, you're holding hate in your body. If you're resenting someone, you're holding resentment in your body. And all of those things are destructive to your body. Okay. And as we let them go, our body naturally heals. But we got to let go of the emotional component, and also everything associated with the emotion, which are usually thoughts, judgments, opinions, expectations, memories, and they could go back lifetimes, and you don't need to know the details of it. You would never know it. Most of it's underneath the water, like the iceberg, right? It's unconscious. But there is a part of you, the spirit within you knows the details of it. And when you connect to spirit, when something's active, it's more than happy to pull it out of you and transmute it. And when that happens, light, truth, and joy takes the place of it. You'll feel at peace. Okay. And so that's kind of what I focus on. And when I do prayer work, it's all about releasing all of that stuff on all levels and letting light fill the space. And as that happens, people naturally start to think differently and feel differently. And like as I was thinking about it this morning, you know, one of the things I cleared a lot of in my own life was guilt. And when I had a lot of guilt, anyone could use me and then manipulate me because I felt guilty. I automatically believed it was my fault. Okay. Whether it was or not. And it wasn't until Abby kind of brought it to my awareness. Hey, you got to clear this. And I cleared it for like 3 or 4 weeks. And after that, when people tried to manipulate with me with guilt, I could see what they were doing and I could see that it wasn't true and it didn't have any effect on me. That's the importance of clearing your emotional wounds. Okay. So I want to do a meditation now. And really, I just want to, facilitate connecting to light and just allowing that light, that spirit that's within you and that's there whenever you reach for it. Whenever you call it in, it will be there. Okay. And when it comes in, it automatically starts to heal. Right. Just like what I read about the atonement. Nothing negative can operate in its presence. Okay. But we have to surrender to it. Okay. So what I want you to do is just close your eyes and take a deep breath. And take another deep breath. When you're in the present, it's a lot easier to connect with spirit. It's the only time you can connect with spirit. So now that you're in your breathing, just pay attention to your breathing a little bit. And just be aware of how your body feels right now. And just accept how it feels right now. If you're comfortable, so be it. If you're uncomfortable, accept that. Just let it be. And just feel whatever's going on emotionally or physically in your body. Just be present with it. And now I want you just to call in the Spirit. I would call it the Holy Spirit, the Divine Mother, or whatever name you have for source or a consciousness that is all loving, that is all knowing, and that would never, ever harm you in any way. It only wants to heal you and help you to live a life of fulfillment and joy. Whatever you want to call that in. When you feel its presence, acknowledge it. Just say thank you. And with each breath, you can let its presence expand. And know that it already knows what you need now for your best and highest good. And just give it a few minutes to radiate through you and heal anything in your mind, your body, your thoughts, or your emotions that need help, that need healing and transformation. Just allow. Now I want you to think about something in your life you need help with. Something that you've been dealing with in your life that whenever you think about it, you get tense or you have some kind of emotional component with it. Maybe you get fear, maybe you're afraid of it. Maybe you're upset about it. Maybe you feel helpless about it. Whatever that is for you, just think about that for a moment. Think about that situation. And you might pay attention to how your body feels when you think about it and where you feel it in your body. But put part of your mind on the spirit too. And while talking to the spirit, offer this situation to the spirit, to the divine, along with all of your thoughts about it, all of your judgments about it, all of your memories about it, all of your desires, your expectations about it. And ask the spirit to take over this problem and to heal it mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, to bring about what's best for your highest good. Ask it to remove any obstacles that you've held on to that have blocked a healing for this, that have blocked you from finding resolution. Obstacles could be beliefs or perceptions, but just give it permission to heal anything that's blocking divine light, divine truth from leading the way. And then just allow. You might imagine the situation surrounded in light now and filled with light. But the important thing is to know that that light is all knowing and all loving. And it's all powerful. And just allow it to work on this for you. And give it permission to continue to work on it. And help you to have any understandings you need to have about it, even while you sleep. Just ask it to heal and transform it. Okay. Now I want you to bring this problem or this challenge or whatever it was. Once it's full of light, just bring it into your heart and ask the light to continue to lead you, guide you, and direct you, and protect you each and every step of your way when you deal with this challenge. Ask it to heal you as you go through it. Heal your mind, heal your body, heal your thoughts. And now just reconnect with the light. And know that this light, this consciousness, is way more powerful than the mind. It has a much stronger ability to heal anything. It will never lie to you. It will never hurt you. It will never punish you. It's an instrument of healing. And when you learn to use this and fill your mind with it, your mind will be a source of its healing, of its truth, of its wisdom. And your body will be a source of its life force, of its love, of its joy, of its peace. The key is to establish the relationship with spirit and to know it and understand it. Understand its role in your life. And now I want you to, while being connected to spirit, I want you to bring in a relationship in your life that's not in harmony. someone that's hurt you, or someone where you have discord with. And just bring them into this light. And once you're in the light, I want you again just to pay attention to your body, to your mind. When you think of them, how does your body feel? Is there an emotional component that comes up? Are there thoughts going through your mind? Desires? Memories? Whatever comes up, just let it come up. But while you're witnessing that, hold your connection to the spirit. And start letting the spirit fill this relationship. Start letting that light imbue this person in light, in love and peace. And then turn to the light. And if there's something that you need to let go of about this person, let's say they hurt you, or they're still hurting you, just offer them to the divine light. I give you this person, along with all of my thoughts, emotions, memories, judgments, opinions, and expectations that I've held about this person. Please heal my thoughts, my emotions, my perceptions, my expectations, and my desires that I've held against this person. And please help me to forgive them for any way they hurt me, mentally, physically, or spiritually, through thought, word, or deed. Please and thank you. Please release from my body any emotions I've held against this person, any thoughts I've held against this person that have caused me pain or suffering. Please help me to let go of anything I've held about this person in my mind or my body that's created suffering for me or created pain in our relationship. Please transform this into your light, into your love, and into your peace. And again, just allow this to take place. Allow this light to fill all space and heal all things, even things that you're not aware of. Ask it to heal any perceptions, either consciously or unconsciously, that you've held that have caused pain and suffering for you or this other person. Now ask this light to bless this other person and to help them to forgive you completely and totally for any ways that you hurt them mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, or in any other way through thought, word, or deed, knowingly or unknowingly, throughout all time. Ask the light to heal and correct their perceptions of you, their judgments of you, their expectations of you, their desires of you, their thoughts about you. And ask that light to heal anything that you've brought up in them, mentally, physically, spiritually, or emotionally, that is not of light, that is not of truth, and that causes harm in your relationship. And then just allow. Give Spirit permission to protect you from hurting each other and protect you from hurting yourselves, either consciously or unconsciously. And ask Spirit to bless both of you individually and collectively, and give you both now what you need for your highest and best good, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And again, just allow. If the Spirit that you're connected to is all loving and all knowing and all healing, it's a good idea to learn how to cultivate this relationship, to bring it in whenever you feel wounded in your body or in your mind, whenever you're facing a challenge, whenever you're feeling alone and need help. This is your tool. This is your partner in life. This is the only consciousness that will never lie to you, that will never hurt you. Cultivate a relationship with it. and allow it to heal you throughout every challenge you face in life. And all you need to do is call it in and then feel the connection. And once you feel that connection, you might notice that you start to feel at peace. And this spirit connection, the reason why we have it is to heal the mind and the consciousness that we're born into. It's the light that guides us. It's the healer within us. And it is the only thing that heals. Now go back to that relationship you brought into the light and thank that person for coming in. And just allow them to go back out into the light, into their own ball of light. But give that divine light permission to continue to heal the relationship as it sees fit for your best and highest good. And trust that it knows how to do that. Learning to connect to this light on a daily basis is returning to your true power, to your true essence, to your true wisdom, to your true guidance. And the mind is meant to be an avenue of awareness to this connection. So cultivate that. Let the spirit go first. Let the spirit use the mind as its source. Now just thank the spirit, your higher self, for showing up, for making a connection with you and a strong connection. And give it permission to connect with you at night while you sleep. And to help you to heal anything that needs to be healed in your life while you sleep. It knows how to do that. Give your spiritual guides and angels permission to help you heal anything that needs to be healed in your life while you sleep. And to continue to heal it. And take one more deep breath and bring this light all the way through your body. And then release your breath. And when you feel comfortable, open your eyes. And look around the room. You might notice how peaceful your environment is right now. You might notice that your mind's at peace. You might realize that this is part of the connection, the spirit connection, and learn to cultivate it. And now I'm going to bring Abby back in. And we're just going to go through questions, comments, answers, whatever you guys want to share. Or if you have any questions.
And I also, you can start my video.
Oh, you can't start your video.
Correct.
No. Boy. Let me figure out how to do that. Hang on.
Okay,
Sorry, Abby.
that's okay.
Huh.
It says on my end,
You should be able to
host
start it on the bottom.
host has stopped it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, hang on.
Well, we can still answer questions. Does anybody have any question about my meditation or Jim's meditation?
Abby,
Eh,
can't you just push the video button on the bottom of your computer?
No, I've pushed it 3 times and it says I can't start my video because the host has stopped it.
Oh boy.
Sorry, guys. It's okay. I don't need to have a video.
Okay.
Why don't we just look at the questions that people have or anything, anybody want to share or something?
Did I just start your video? No.
Um, oh, well, thank you, Terry.
Anybody that wants to share, I'll be happy to bring you in at least to where we can hear you if I can't figure out the video thing.
Well, special thanks to Terry Jordan, who thought this was extraordinary. And again, our webs. Oh, here we go.
Haha.
Yep. Okay, here I am.
All right.
Our website is www.infinitelight.me. I've typed it out on the message area so that if you want to go to that, or if you want to go to our YouTube channel, which is Infinite Light LLC. So, and thank you everybody for your wonderful comments. I'm really glad our meditations helped. I know Jim's meditation, like, that was amazing, Jim. I got a lot out of that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
just, you know,
And Heidi says, wait for the replay to try this again and again. And I really recommend that. I mean, this is a free class. So you can just play the meditation and go through it for different things, that come up in your life. So feel free to do that.
yeah, whenever you find that your body is contracted or you're uncomfortable, and when most people, when they feel that, they just want to change the outside world real quick so it goes away, or, get away from that person because they're making them feel uncomfortable. But when that comes up, it's a sign that there's something going on in the mind and the consciousness of your mind that needs to be connected to light and healed. And that's really the work that we're doing here is, reestablishing. When that comes up, don't shut it down and don't try to use the mind to control the outside world environment. Go into it and call in the divine, call in the spirit, and ask the spirit to help you heal it, all parts of it, like emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and help you with whatever you're facing that's bringing it up. If you have a meeting that you're afraid to face, or a relationship that you don't want to deal with, call in that. When you feel that in your body, it's a signal that you need to connect to light, because your mind's running by itself, and it's running not in light and truth. It's running in emotional wounds, and it's running in perceptions that need to be healed. And that's what's creating the uncomfortableness in your body. Okay. So when you're uncomfortable, connect to spirit, and then just really allow it, like in Abby's meditation. Allow it to take charge, allow it to go before you, allow it to bring healing on all levels.
So Jeanette is asking, how do we get the replay? We will be posting this class, first of all, on the YouTube channel, and then also on our website. I've typed in those things at the top of the meditation, but I'll repeat it right now. www.infinitelight.me, M-E, or also the YouTube channel, which is Infinite Light LLC. Now, we probably won't get this up and edited until maybe Wednesday. So sorry for the delay, guys, but definitely tune in. And when we post it, it will be, permanent posting, and it is free. So you can go to the YouTube channel. You can find this class. You can also find classes from the past that we just keep on putting up there. So feel free to use them and to use the meditations. And Gail, I'm really glad that you had a healing, and I'm really happy that you felt you had a vision. So for everybody that felt they had a healing today or a real connection, I'm just really happy about that. And it is kind of amazing to know that it's easier than we thought. You know what I mean? Like it's not so hard. And I think Jim's meditation was amazing. I felt a huge healing, and I was supposed to be the teacher, but I mean I was doing it too. So thank you everybody for joining us. Does anyone have oh hey Tim. Hi Tim. Glad you could join us. Anybody have a question?
There's a question, would you be comfortable sharing the name of the big healer that you referenced in your powerful pre-meditation? Her name is Sarah O'Mara, and you can look her up. She's a conduit of the Holy Spirit, and she's very good at guiding people through receiving light and healing.
I agree. We went to Sarah O'Mara's chapel, which is in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I felt a huge amount of energy there, healing energy, positive energy. Again, what Jim says, if we can just connect. Now, CJ has a question here. Sometimes when I try tuning in, I hear conflicting messages and I struggle with discernment. Any suggestions? So I'll answer that, and I know Jim will have an answer too. My answer is it's hard when you first start hearing your guides or trying to get positive messages because our mind can step in and I could hear a positive message from my guide, and then I could hear my grandmother's voice saying, you're an idiot or something. And so it's very hard to figure out the difference. One rule of thumb is if it's a positive message, it's probably your angels and guides. If it's a negative message, especially like if it says, go jump in the lake or something, it's probably not your angels and guides. And I know that sounds stupid, but when we really think of negative and positive, anything that's positive and lifts us up and makes us relaxed, makes us feel open, makes us feel healed, makes us feel just comfortable is probably the higher frequency. Anything that makes us contract, feel fearful, feel like, oh my God, I'm an idiot, anything on that nature is probably going towards the negative. And if you stand back and you just say to yourself, okay, did this make me feel good or bad? Did this make me feel like expand or contract? And you can also send out a prayer to your angels saying, give me discernment. Let me hear this higher self voice, this higher divine energy voice, and please start to drown out the negative, which is probably just my own fears, doubts, people that have talked to me in my life. I also find when we go to a place of a higher frequency, a special mountain, We're going to Sedona at the end of September. One of the main reasons we're going is to have that higher frequency that really lifts us all into a higher consciousness where we do feel more positive. Certain avatars like Bratzo or Mother Mira, just by gazing with them, can lift us to a higher feeling. But go ahead, Jim. I know you have an answer to this also.
Well, my answer really reflects yours. It's the first thing is if you have an active emotional charge like fear or anger or something like that, take some time to clear that first. Okay. When you're one thing that the body's really good at, at telling you is what are you connected to? If you're full of fear, your guidance is what's going on in your mind isn't going to be accurate guidance. Okay. Because you're not connected to light at that moment. Okay. So there's a prayer that I have on the website for clearing emotional charges. Use it. It's a very natural way to go from the mind to being connected to light again and to release the emotions. And usually it works pretty quickly. Another thing is to use, if this is something that you've really had problems with over and over again, use like a intermediary to where they don't have an attachment to it. They're clear on it. It's not a big deal for them. They're not afraid. Okay. And connect to them and help them let you clear it. Thirdly, again, right before you go to sleep at night, if you're having a problem with guidance on something and you're uncertain, call in your guides and angels and say, look, I don't understand this. Please help me to understand it while I sleep. Because when you go to sleep, your ego gets out of the way and your mind is completely quiet. You're not thinking. Okay. And when you give your guides and angels permission to come in while you sleep and give you clarity on something, do it until you get clarity. But my experience is you will get clarity, period. You'll wake up one morning and you'll just know what to do and you won't know how, right? You won't have all of a sudden you'll just have an understanding and it's like, okay, I get it. Okay. And the whole thing will be kind of dismantled. Okay. So if you're having problems in your waking state, if you're connected, if you have an emotional charge going on it, learn how to clear that. Once you clear that, like if I have something that I don't want to face and I fear about it, I'll do this meditation I just did with you guys. Maybe, I'll just do it very short version, like 5 minutes, but I'll call on spirit, just say, I give you this fear. Please take it out of me and please heal everything associated with it, mentally, physically, emotionally. And I'll do that. And I'll notice after 2 or 3 days, I'll get insights that I didn't have and it'll work its way out. And I don't have to force it. It's not like I didn't have to put any force into it. It just happened naturally. So try that. Give it, 2 or 3 days of just connecting with light, offering it to the light, asking the light to help you to move through this with understanding and with right guidance. And then just let it go. Don't think. Just let it go and let the guidance come naturally. Does that help?
Yeah, I think CJ is saying yes. I'll try clearing emotional charge first. I do feel tapped into my dreams, so I'll try that too. Yeah. I know both Jim and I struggle sometimes with, guidance for important things, or we might feel we hear guidance and then it's not coming true. So that's very human. And I think Jim's advice is good, to just keep trying at it, kind of.
Yeah. If you marinated in light enough, the light will overcome any fear or doubt or anything blocking it, and you'll end up with good guidance or
I
help from
think
the outside world. Yeah.
I think one prayer Jim taught me, which I think is really great, speaking of dreams, is that before you go to sleep at night, you can just say to yourself, you don't have to be like praying or something. You can just say, I call in my guides and angels, and I give them permission to guide me and heal me as I sleep. right? Isn't that what you say, Jim?
Yeah,
And especially if something's troubling me, that's really effective because, well, it works. I don't know how
yeah.
else to say it works.
Yeah, if you just pray, like the Divine Mother, one of the things she's an avatar, she's like, pray for me for understanding. And I contemplated that for weeks. I'm like, why? Then later on, I realized that if you're if you're misperceiving something, you'll also be miscreating. Okay. And understanding really means to perceive things truthfully. It's like one of the things I pray for a lot is just help me to see things as they truly are, not how I want them to be, or, you know, help me to see things as they truly are. And what I just realized is that as you see things as they truly are, you're naturally protected. Because if someone's wanting to do you harm and you can see that, you're going to be protected. You're not going to make dumb choices, right? But it's just like, let me see things. I follow that up. Let me see things as they truly are, with love and compassion in my heart. That's what I say, and that's a prayer, right? It works, right? And if you mean it, it'll happen. But it's one of the greatest gifts we can have is awareness, and with awareness, our fear goes away. Anything else? Are we
Well,
good?
thank you everybody for joining us. It was a great class. Like I said, we'll probably have it posted up by Tuesday or Wednesday. Feel free to replay it as many times as you want. And the next free Zoom class will be the second Sunday of October. And again, if you're interested in one of our spiritual retreats, just go to the website. We have another one coming up in Sedona at the very end of this month, September, www.infinitelight.me, M-E.
Yep. And if you want to download any of the prayers or something, go to the sessions page, and at the bottom of it, there's like a handful of prayers that are for like clearing emotions, getting guidance, things of that nature. And you can download them for free. And I get good feedback that it helps people. Anyway, we'll see you either in Sedona or next month.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.